Beloved Starseed of Gaia, the Source has watched every step you took, not as a judge waiting for your failure, but as a field of love witnessing the quiet becoming that even you almost refuse to recognize. I am Mayan, Pleiadian emissary of the High Council of the Seven Sisters, and I speak through the crystalline current of Alcyone to remind you that your journey has not been invisible. Your private endurance has not been wasted, and the version of you standing here now carries evidence of a transformation that the higher field sees with deep pride. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to receive the Pleiadian light codes behind this recognition, why the Source is proud of what you did, and why your star family is asking you not to dismiss the sacred person you have become through pressure, loss, patience, and remembrance. But here's the first revelation. The Source is not proud because you never struggled. The Source is proud because the struggle did not erase your light. You are remembering because it is time. There is a reason these words may touch a place in you that feels both comforted and exposed. The Source watched every step. The Source is proud of who you have become. The Source is proud of what you did. For some souls, that sentence opens the heart immediately. For others, it creates resistance. You may wonder how the higher field could feel proud when you still see so many unfinished places inside yourself. You may think of the moments when you doubted, reacted, cried, delayed, returned to old patterns, or felt less spiritual than you wanted to be. But beloved, the Pleiadian field is not looking at your journey through the narrow lens of perfection. It is seeing the whole architecture of your return. The Source watched the steps that no one else considered important. The step you took when you got out of bed, even though your spirit felt heavy. The step you took when you did not give the old wound full control over your voice. The step you took when you chose not to become cruel after being treated without tenderness. The step you took when you stopped explaining your worth to someone committed to misunderstanding your light. The step you took when you allowed yourself to rest instead of collapsing in the name of being strong. These steps may not have looked glorious to the world, but they were luminous in the unseen field. You have been trained to believe that pride must be earned through visible success. The world celebrates what can be measured: numbers, speed, productivity, influence, possessions, appearance, and applause. But the Source celebrates a different victory. The Source celebrates coherence. The Source celebrates the moment a soul chooses truth over performance. The Source celebrates when a heart remains soft without reopening a harmful door. The Source celebrates when a starseed learns to listen to the body after years of overriding it. The Source celebrates when an old pattern loses one more layer of authority. These are not small achievements. These are sacred steps in the restoration of your original frequency. The original theme may have called you chosen, but through the Pleiadian field, we translate this into remembrance, responsibility, and return. You are not being told that you are above anyone. You are being reminded that your journey matters. You are not being praised so the ego can rise. You are being recognized so the heart can finally stop minimizing the path it has crossed. You are not here to use divine pride as a crown of separation. You are here to receive it as medicine for the parts of you that were never acknowledged while they were surviving. There are steps you took that no one clapped for because no one knew there was a battle happening inside you. When you chose silence instead of defending yourself from panic, the field saw it. When you stopped chasing a familiar ache, the field saw it. When you made a decision that cost you comfort but returned dignity to your body, the field saw it. When you cried and still did not give up on love, the field saw it. When you forgave yourself for not knowing sooner, the field saw it. When you let an old identity fall, even though you did not yet know who you would become without it, the field saw it. This is why the Source is proud of who you have become. Not because you became untouchable, but because you became more honest. Not because you never fell, but because you returned. Not because you carried everything gracefully, but because somewhere inside the pressure, you allowed the pressure to reveal what could no longer be false. Your becoming has not been a straight line, it has been a spiral. You return to the same themes with more awareness each time. You met old wounds through new faces. You faced familiar fears in new rooms. And each time, even if slowly, you recovered more of your inner authority. The Pleiadian High Council wants you to understand that becoming is often invisible before it becomes obvious. A seed does not look powerful while it is under the soil. A body healing in silence may not appear transformed. A soul learning discernment may seem withdrawn before it becomes clear. A heart releasing attachment may look lonely before it becomes free. You may have judged yourself during the hidden phases because you could not see the growth. But the Source saw the roots. The Source saw the unseen effort. The Source saw the places where your energy was being reorganized before your outer life reflected it. You may have been hard on yourself because the transformation did not happen as quickly as your mind wanted. You may have said, I should be further by now. I should be stronger. I should be healed. I should be more disciplined. I should be more certain. But the Pleiadian field asks you to speak to yourself with more accuracy. You have been crossing dense layers of fear, memory, ancestral emotion, disappointment, nervous system survival, and spiritual longing. This was never only about deciding to think positively. This was a full body passage. The Source is proud because you kept walking through a field that often tried to convince you to stop. There is a specific kind of pride in the higher field that has nothing to do with ego. It is the joy of witnessing alignment return. It is the tenderness of seeing a soul remember after long confusion. It is the warmth that moves through the field when a being on Gaia chooses not to abandon its own heart again. This pride does not inflate you. It steadies you. It does not say, you are better than others. It says, beloved, see how far you have come. Stop erasing the evidence of grace moving through your life. Stop calling your survival ordinary when it required a courage you barely had words for. Perhaps you did something today that proved the change. Maybe you paused before reacting. Maybe you chose peace instead of proving. Maybe you did not reopen a door that once drained you. Maybe you protected your morning. Maybe you completed one honest task. Maybe you stopped scrolling and listened inwardly. Maybe you gave yourself compassion where shame usually entered. Maybe you received a small blessing without immediately rejecting it. Maybe you simply noticed the old pattern and did not become it completely. The Source is proud of what you did because it carried the signature of the new you. Many starseeds expect transformation to be traumatic. They imagine that when the higher field is proud, it must be because something huge happened. But the most sacred shifts are often subtle. A small pause can end years of automatic reaction. A quiet no can restore years of leaked energy. A single truthful sentence can break a family pattern. A moment of rest can challenge a lifetime of overproving. A choice to remain kind without self-erasure can transform the way love moves through your field. The human mind calls these small. The soul calls them thresholds. This is why you must listen before dismissing the recognition. The old identity may try to reject it quickly. It may say, this is not for me. I am not there yet. I still have too much to fix. Other people are stronger. Other people are more spiritual. Other people deserve this more. Beloved, comparison is one of the ways the old field steals recognition from the heart. The Source is not comparing your chapter to another soul's chapter. The Source is witnessing the steps you took on the path assigned to your own becoming. That is enough. The hidden revelation before activation begins is this. You have become someone your past self needed. You have become someone who can see more clearly. Someone who can pause more often. Someone who can name what hurts without letting pain become the entire truth. Someone who is learning that love does not require self-betrayal. Someone who can feel loneliness without immediately returning to distortion. Someone who can be afraid and still choose one honest step. This is why the Source is proud. You are becoming a safer home for your own soul. Beloved, if this transmission is already touching the hidden place in your heart that has struggled to receive pride, recognition, or tenderness from the higher field, your star family has prepared a deeper path for this exact threshold. The Pleiadian bloodline method, Unlock Your 7 Inheritances, was created not as information to collect, but as a sacred map for healing, remembrance, and crystalline integration for starseeds, learning to recognize who they have become without falling into ego or self-denial. It carries the love frequency of Alcyone and the wisdom of the 7 sisters for souls ready to receive what the Source has witnessed in them and embody the next layer of their Pleiadian inheritance. You will find it in the first pinned comment below this video, available now for those who feel called to receive what their heart has been preparing to hold. Now, the first movement is to allow your body to receive recognition without bracing. Many of you hear praise, and your body prepares for danger. You expect criticism to follow. You expect the blessing to be taken back. You expect recognition to become pressure. Place one hand over your heart and breathe slowly. Let the body hear, I am allowed to be seen by love. I am allowed to receive clean recognition. I do not have to turn this into performance. I do not have to prove anything in this moment. This is how recognition becomes medicine instead of pressure. As the body softens, begin reviewing the steps the Source watched without using them to shame yourself. Do not review the past looking for failure. Review it looking for evidence of return. Where did you come back to truth after confusion? Where did you choose love without becoming available for harm? Where did you stop repeating a pattern as strongly as before? Where did you finally listen to the body? Where did you become more honest than your old self would have allowed? These questions open the memory of progress. The body needs to remember progress because it has remembered pain for a long time. Then the heart must release the belief that pride from the Source is conditional approval. This is important. Many souls carry wounds from human authority figures who gave approval only when they performed correctly. Because of that, they imagine divine recognition works the same way. It does not. The Source is not proud in order to control you. The Source is proud because love recognizes love becoming embodied. This recognition does not vanish when you have a difficult day. It becomes a stable warmth you can return to when the old field tries to define you by one moment of struggle. The next movement is naming what you did that deserves acknowledgement. Be specific. Did you choose a boundary? Did you rest? Did you tell the truth? Did you create something? Did you forgive yourself? Did you stop chasing? Did you choose silence? Did you listen to your body? Did you walk away from an old loop? Did you choose not to punish yourself? Name it. The name matters. A nameless victory can fade into the fog of the day. A named victory becomes a seed. The Pleiadian field works with named seeds because attention gives them energy. From there, protect the new version of yourself from the old hunger for validation. Recognition from the Source is meant to stabilize your inner authority, not make you dependent on external applause. You may still be seen by others. You may still receive encouragement, but do not hand your worth back to the crowd after receiving it from the heart of the field. Some people will see you. Some will not. Some will understand your growth. Some will judge the very boundaries that prove you are healing. Let this be okay. The higher field has already witnessed what matters. Pleiadian love teaches that pride must become responsibility. If the Source is proud of who you have become, the next step is not arrogance. The next step is stewardship. Steward your attention. Steward your body. Steward your speech. Steward your boundaries. Steward your creative fire. Steward the morning before the world scatters you. Steward the relationships that nourish truth. Steward the silence where guidance becomes audible. Pride without stewardship becomes ego. Recognition with stewardship becomes maturity. This responsibility should feel like dignity, not burden. You are not responsible for carrying every person, solving every wound, or explaining your light to every room. You are responsible for not betraying the light you now know is real. You are responsible for moving more carefully with your energy. You are responsible for noticing when fear tries to retake the throne. You are responsible for returning when you wander. That is enough. The Source is proud because you are becoming capable of this kind of honest stewardship. There may be grief when you receive this. Let it come. The part of you that was never told, "I am proud of you," may ache. The part of you that carried too much too young may not know how to accept tenderness without suspicion. The part of you that survived silently may finally feel seen. Do not rush that grief away. It is not weakness. It is the thawing of a place that had to freeze in order to keep going. When clean recognition touches frozen places, tears can become a form of release. The Pleiadian field surrounds that release with gentleness. We do not ask you to be strong in the old way. The old strength was often a mask built for necessity. The new strength is softer, more honest, and more grounded. It allows the body to feel. It allows the heart to receive. It allows the mind to stop defending every wound. It allows the soul to say, "I survived, and now I am learning to live." The Source is proud of this movement from survival into life. You may notice that some old relationships cannot easily hold the version of you becoming more whole. This may not happen dramatically. It may happen through subtle changes. Conversations feel different. Old jokes no longer land. Old obligations feel heavier. Old patterns of rescuing feel less possible. Some people may sense your dignity returning and try to pull you back into the familiar role. Stay kind, but stay clear. The Source is proud of who you have become, and that becoming deserves protection. Protection is not isolation. It is sacred filtering. Not every voice should enter your field. Not every demand deserves immediate access. Not every emotional wave belongs in your body. Not every person who knew your old self has authority over your new one. Protection means you choose what nourishes the version of you that the Source is recognizing. You choose environments that support remembrance. You choose conversations that do not require self-erasure. You choose silence when noise would pull you back into fragmentation. As you protect the new field, creativity may return. A soul that no longer spends all its energy surviving has energy to create. You may feel called to write, speak, design, build, heal, teach, organize, pray, meditate, move, or simply live more beautifully. Do not dismiss the impulse. The Source may be proud not only of what you survived, but of what you are becoming available to create now. Creation is often the next chapter after endurance. The energy that was trapped in the battle becomes light moving through form. Still, do not rush to prove your transformation. This is a common mistake. A soul receives recognition and immediately tries to earn it again through overdoing. Beloved, breathe. The Source is not asking you to perform now. The Source is asking you to embody. Embodiment is slower than performance and far more powerful. It is the repeated choice to live from what you know. It is the consistency that makes the new self real in the body. It is the daily return to coherence when the old world invites you back into noise. The next movement is to let this recognition change how you speak to yourself. When you make a mistake, do not erase who you have become. When you feel fear, do not say you are back at the beginning. When you need rest, do not call yourself weak. When you are still healing, do not call yourself broken. Speak as one who has been witnessed by love. Say, "I am learning." Say, "I am still becoming." Say, "I can return." Say, "My progress is real." Say, my humanity does not cancel my light. The body will begin to believe what you repeat with sincerity. The Source is proud of the way you kept a hidden softness alive. This is perhaps one of the greatest victories. Some souls become sharp after pain, and the sharpness becomes their identity. You may have developed armor, but the softness did not disappear. It waited. It survived underneath caution, disappointment, and exhaustion. Now it is returning with more wisdom. This softness is not the old unprotected openness. It is a refined tenderness. It knows boundaries. It knows discernment. It knows that love is sacred and should not be thrown into every empty room. The Pleiadian inheritance awakening year is the inheritance of honored becoming. This means you stop treating your growth as imaginary, simply because it is not complete. You stop requiring a perfect life before you acknowledge a real shift. You stop dismissing the small decisions that changed your trajectory. You stop making your heart wait endlessly for recognition that you are allowed to give it now. Honored becoming allows you to bow to the process while still walking forward. It says, I am not finished, and I am not who I used to be. There will be days when the old self returns with old thoughts. It may say, nothing has changed. It may say, you are still the same. It may say, you do not deserve recognition. When that voice appears, do not fight it with hatred. Answer it with evidence. I paused. I returned. I chose differently. I listened. I protected my peace. I told the truth. I rested. I did not abandon myself in the same way. Evidence helps the nervous system trust the new identity. Evidence turns spiritual recognition into grounded reality. The ultimate revelation is this. The Source watched every step because every step was part of the path back to yourself. Even the steps that looked messy. Even the steps where you had to turn around. Even the steps taken through tears. Even the steps where you moved slowly. The higher field did not only watch the triumphant moments. It watched the honest ones. It watched the moments when you are not impressive to the world, but were deeply real in the soul. That is why this pride is clean. It belongs to truth, not appearance. You are not being asked to become inflated by this message. You are being asked to become steadier. Let the pride of the Source steady you when the world misunderstands you. Let it steady you when the old pattern tries to return. Let it steady you when comparison appears. Let it steady you when you wonder whether the inner work matters. It matters. You matter. The becoming matters. The small steps matter. The steps no one saw matter. Tonight, before sleep, place one hand over your heart and say softly, I receive the pride of the Source without fear and without ego. I honor the steps that no one saw. I honor who I have become through pressure, patience, and remembrance. I receive the Pleiadian light codes that help me protect this growth and embody it with humility. I am still becoming, and my becoming is sacred. Speak slowly. Let the words reach the places that expected only criticism. Let the body feel that recognition can be safe. In the days ahead, watch how your field shifts when you stop dismissing yourself. Watch where your body relaxes when progress is acknowledged. Watch which old identity feels less convincing. Watch where you become more careful with your energy. Watch where you feel called to create from the wisdom you earned. These are signs that recognition is becoming integrated. The Source is not only proud of what you did, the Source is inviting you to live in a way that honors it. So when you hear, the Source watched every step and is proud of who you have become, receive the purified meaning. Let it mean that your private courage was witnessed. Let it mean that the higher field saw the invisible steps. Let it mean that you are allowed to acknowledge growth without denying the journey ahead. Let it mean that the person you have become deserves tenderness, protection, and trust.